The links between the UK NHS and Freemasonry, an examination of potential concerns. The National Health Service, NHS, is a cornerstone of British society, representing a publicly funded healthcare system that aims to provide care for all citizens, irrespective of social or economic status. Freemasonry, on the other hand, is a centuries-old fraternal organization often characterized by its secretive nature, rituals, and network of members across various professional and societal sectors. The intersection between these two entities has occasionally sparked public and academic interest, raising questions about the implications of Freemasonry's influence within public institutions such as the NHS. This essay explores the relationship between Freemasonry and the NHS, examining whether the links are problematic and addressing the concerns that arise regarding transparency, ethics, and equality. By delving into historical context, contemporary evidence, and public perception, this analysis aims to shed light on a topic often clouded by speculation and misunderstanding. A historical perspective on Freemasonry and public institutions. Freemasonry in the United Kingdom dates back to the early 18th century, with the formation of the Grand Lodge of England in 1717. Its members have traditionally been drawn from various sectors, including business, politics, and public service. The organization emphasizes moral and philosophical development through allegorical teachings and rituals, while also fostering a strong sense of camaraderie among its members. Historically, Freemasonry has held a notable presence within public institutions. Its emphasis on networking and mutual support among members has often led to allegations of undue influence. In the context of the NHS, founded in 1948, questions about Freemasonry's involvement emerged alongside broader concerns about fairness and impartiality in public service. The NHS was established during a period when Freemasonry's influence in British society was arguably at its peak. Many founding members of NHS boards and local committees were prominent figures in their communities, some of whom were Freemasons. This overlap has led to speculation about whether Freemasonry played a role in shaping the culture and decision-making processes of the NHS during its formative years. Freemasonry's core principles and potential ethical concerns. To assess the implications of Freemasonry's presence within the NHS, it is important to consider the organization's core principles. Freemasonry espouses values such as fraternity, charity, and personal development. However, its commitment to secrecy and mutual assistance among members has often been criticized as fostering favoritism and exclusion. One major ethical concern is the principle of equality. The NHS is built on the foundation of equitable care for all, yet Freemasonry's private nature and selective membership process appear to contrast starkly with this ethos. Critics argue that Freemasonry's emphasis on loyalty among members could lead to preferential treatment or biased decision-making within public institutions, including the NHS. Furthermore, Freemasonry's historical exclusion of women and certain religious or ethnic groups raises questions about its compatibility with the NHS's commitment to diversity and inclusion. Although some Masonic lodges now admit women and individuals of all faiths, the organization's traditional image continues to fuel perceptions of elitism and exclusivity. Evidence of Freemasonry's presence in the NHS. Concrete evidence of Freemasonry's influence within the NHS is limited, owing largely to the organization's secretive nature. However, anecdotal reports and investigations have suggested that Masonic networks may exist among NHS staff, particularly in senior management and administrative roles. A notable case occurred in the 1990s when the Nolan Committee on Standards in Public Life investigated allegations of Masonic influence within public institutions. The committee found no definitive evidence of widespread malpractice but recommended greater transparency, including the voluntary disclosure of Masonic membership by public officials. In response, some NHS trusts introduced policies requiring staff to declare affiliations with organizations like Freemasonry, though compliance and enforcement have been inconsistent. More recently, concerns have been raised about the potential for Freemasonry to influence procurement decisions, hiring practices, and internal investigations within the NHS. While definitive proof remains elusive, the perception of undue influence persists, partly due to the lack of transparency surrounding Masonic activities. Public perception and media representation. The relationship between Freemasonry and public institutions like the NHS has often been portrayed negatively in the media. Stories of alleged cronyism, favoritism, and corruption have contributed to a public perception that Freemasonry undermines accountability and fairness. For instance, investigative journalism has occasionally highlighted cases where individuals accused of malpractice or unethical behavior within the NHS were linked to Freemasonry. While these cases are often anecdotal and unverified, they contribute to a broader narrative of mistrust. Public surveys have shown mixed opinions on Freemasonry's role in modern society. While some view it as a harmless social organization, others perceive it as an outdated and opaque network that conflicts with contemporary values of transparency and equality. This ambivalence underscores the need for further research and dialogue on the issue. The impact on NHS ethics and governance. Freemasonry's alleged presence within the NHS raises important questions about ethics and governance. The NHS relies on trust and accountability to maintain public confidence, yet the perception of secretive networks operating behind the scenes can undermine this trust. One key area of concern is conflict of interest. If Freemasons in the NHS prioritize loyalty to fellow members over professional responsibilities, this could compromise decision-making and erode public confidence in the institution. For example, allegations of nepotism or biased recruitment processes linked to Masonic affiliations could discourage talented individuals from pursuing NHS careers or lead to inefficiencies in service delivery. Another issue is the potential for Freemasonry to influence whistleblowing processes. The NHS has faced significant challenges in fostering a culture where staff feel safe reporting misconduct or poor practices. If whistleblowers perceive that Masonic networks protect certain individuals, this could deter them from coming forward, perpetuating a cycle of unaccountability. Transparency and reforms. Addressing concerns about Freemasonry within the NHS requires a commitment to transparency and accountability. Several steps could be taken to mitigate potential risks and rebuild public trust. Mandatory disclosure. Implementing mandatory disclosure of Freemasonry membership for NHS staff in managerial or decision-making roles could enhance transparency. This policy would align with recommendations from the Nolan Committee and demonstrate a commitment to openness. Strengthening governance. NHS trusts should establish clear guidelines to prevent conflicts of interest and ensure that recruitment, procurement, and disciplinary processes are fair and impartial. Robust oversight mechanisms can help detect and address any instances of favoritism or malpractice. Promoting inclusivity. Encouraging a culture of inclusivity and diversity within the NHS can counteract perceptions of elitism associated with Freemasonry. This effort includes fostering diverse leadership and providing training on unconscious bias and ethical decision-making. Public engagement. Engaging with the public to address concerns about Freemasonry and its potential influence can help dispel misconceptions and build confidence in the NHS. Open forums and transparent communication can play a vital role in this process. Conclusion. The links between Freemasonry and the NHS are complex and often shrouded in ambiguity. While there is limited concrete evidence of undue influence, the perception of secrecy and exclusivity associated with Freemasonry raises valid concerns about transparency, ethics, and equality within the NHS. Addressing these concerns requires proactive measures to enhance accountability and promote a culture of openness. By fostering transparency, strengthening governance, and embracing inclusivity, the NHS can mitigate potential risks and uphold its commitment to providing equitable care for all. Ultimately, the relationship between Freemasonry and public institutions like the NHS highlights broader societal challenges around balancing tradition, modernity, and ethical governance. Through ongoing dialogue and reform, it is possible to navigate these challenges and ensure that public confidence in the NHS remains steadfast.